This one goes down in like
absolute shit
Conjuring
show.
posterity. Absolute shit show.
It's crazy town.
Hey, wanna play hide and clap?
I had to wait to be together because I had to film a scene before you. I had to do the look into the whirligig music box, and I had to make sure my eye was like in the center of that. But I couldn't wait to. I was a little nervous because I know you were on set early and watching it from the other side. So I was like, I just want to be in a scene with him.
Right.
And I mean, it was awesome. I think it was like immediate spiritual chemistry, like.
Yeah, I think at the time too, we just liked the way that we matched our clothing, and like we were.
I think we were like crooning Iron Maiden by lunchtime.
There you
and
go.
Like laying down beats.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
We were.
Somewhere in his voice notes, you will get a Conjuring. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No record deal from that.
So that scene, that's when I knew.
This, right?
Yeah. That scene was incredible because that actually, from a production side, just I'll be a nerdy technician for a second, that house was basically designed for those stunts. Meaning, in that shot specifically, there were 3 different actors, stunties, doing that one specific shot. And I knew the kind of skill, and even though I'd worked with James before, that was when I thought, oh wow, this is a whole different era of really taking the proper time and of course money and scope to make, because it was a very, very, very complicated scene. And that's when I knew, for me, that's when I actually knew, like, oh wow, we're going to be really supported by, this is not just run and gun film. This is like,
yeah, but it's also that moment where Joey King, when I could see, she just says one word. All she says, Nancy, and the fear with which she delivered that. I'm like, okay, these kids are going to make our job
they were great.
Easy.
Yeah.
Because the way she conveyed fear. And actually that has had a lasting effect because, like, spiritually, like, I'm always pruning stuff. Well, we both had seen the real Annabelle doll in the Warrens' basement.
yeah.
And I remember seeing, I'm like, okay, Raggedy, it's a Raggedy Ann doll. She's got a soft face. I can handle this. Like, a little creepy. But then on set, when I saw her, she was like porcelain demon child with like a plastic face and cheekbones that could like cut glass and like, and she had that smug look on her face, like she was judging you.
Yeah.
Right, and she was like, she wasn't blinking, but she was blinking. You know what I mean?
They made her pretty gross. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, she was impressive. I knew. I was like, get that girl her own trailer. She's gonna get her own movie.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know when those conversations happen about, villain spin-offs. It wasn't really surprising, but I think it was unlike either other franchises or certainly expanding worlds, multiverses, and comic book, where they sort of set up the whole thing. These are our next 10 years of movies, and that was not this at all. And I think Peter Safran and James Wan would say that too. I don't think everything was sort of like built on, like, I won't say flying by the seat of their pants, but certainly decisions that were made because of the result of how things, how the movies perform. So I did not think if you told me after the first Conjuring you'd end up having 3 Annabelle movies, I'd think you're kind of crazy, wishful thinking.
Ambitious.
My name is Bill Wilkins, and I'm 72 years old.
Where do you come from?
I come from the grave.
I was elated to find out that we would have a sequel. All I wanted is another dance with this dude. I mean, that's the only clause in my contract I ever really care about is, okay. And I mean, you could have, like, I didn't even have to read the script. You could write it on a napkin. You cry, you levitate. Patrick Wilson sings Elvis.
That's pretty
in.
much this. That's
I'm
pretty
in.
much the film. No,
It is. I mean,
yeah, I was super excited. It was also the only time I shot anything on the Warner Brothers stage. It's a whole other topic, but you know, we've shoot on location a lot, and this was that film was like my first taste of shooting on a proper like old-timey Hollywood studio. They don't do a lot of movies on very much anymore.
it was awesome. And it
was
becomes,
great.
anytime you get another opportunity, it's only because the fans have put you in a position
Yeah, that's true.
to be able to do another one. So it becomes not about us or like
Yeah.
that. It becomes about, how can we re-gift you? How can we make this special
Yeah.
second time around for you? Because it's only because of them. that
And
we're-
James, and also I remember before we even shot the first one, I remember James once, I'll paraphrase, but basically saying if we get this right, we can come back and do a couple. So when we got the news for Conjuring 2, we thought, it's really worked. I mean, we knew the first one worked when it opened, but it was so great coming back for the second one.
What's wrong? Mom? Who's that?
I was aware of that. Well, it's only we were aware of the Valak Easter eggs because James was very excited about it and would point them
Yes.
out in every scene. The one that I did discover on my own was within the scene in the living room, and it was the child blocks on the bookcase,
Yeah.
which actually made it easier to play later. You know, there's always a scene that we're sweating, whether it's your Latin or we
Right.
always know what that high-pitched scene is going to be. We kind of look at each other and like, good luck.
Good
Good luck delivering that. And there is this moment at Conjuring 2 where I'm levitating against the wall and I do have to identify the demon Valak by his
Yeah.
name. And it's actually discovering
Right.
these Easter eggs that made it like knowing your name gives me dominion over you or whatever the language was.
Yes.
But I'm like, what is
it was exactly
like what
that.
even does that mean? How do I deliver at this? But
Yeah.
these Easter eggs in hindsight, like putting together and seeing his name spelled out gave me the authority in that moment.
And we shot scenes with an actual Valak. Remember Bashara?
Oh, yeah.
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 Oh my God. I have to tell you something after
Don't
this.
mind us. Yes.
The nun was a replacement demon for a previous demon that seemed less human. And it was, funny enough, Joe Bishara, our composer of the first three Conjurings, that played that role. And so
Valak.
Of
Not the-
Valak,
right.
not of the nun,
Not Bonnie Aaron's, right?
not Bonnie Aaron's role. So I didn't get to see Bonnie Aaron's until we had additional photography.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until that hallway where I looked at the painting. And again, it was like, I knew it. And it's got to be someone with cheekbones, man. Give a demon a good set of cheekbones, and she's
Sure.
getting her own. She's getting.
Sure.
You know, she's getting her.
You
Get that girl
filmmakers
her own
out
movie.
there.
Yeah.
Make a
But
demon
also,
cheek.
she was just like, Eleanor Sabaduquia's makeup for the nun was just like, I looked in her teeth and there was like thousands of decrepit little yellow teeth. And like anybody who could just scare an audience with like teeth, like
Yeah,
you're getting your own movie.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, I condemn you back to hell!
Mine was actually probably the only time I've ever been, I won't say scared, but creeped out on any Conjuring set, because the majority of the time that we're filming, our job is to make you scared, not us scared. But I remember when I shot the scene with Crooked Man, because it was just him walking backwards it was very, very strange. It was the long takes, and he's such a gifted performer with his physicality. The irony of it was it looked animatronic, and it was completely not. It looked like a VFX shot. It was completely not all him. But it was this one scene where he's creeping around the corner, and he comes around and he's walking towards me, and it was freaky. It was a great freaky, but it was like the only time I was like, oh, this is freaky. Only time on any set, really.
Kids levitating always bugs me out. Just bugs me out. Don't like seeing
Don't like kids levitating? It's a good party trick. You can pull it off.
Remember me. Acting with the possessed Patrick Wilson is one of the highlights of my career.
Write it down, folks.
Highlights.
Write it down. That's what she
I
said.
mean, no one gets more possessed with more gusto,
Choose the scenery more.
more perfect profile, more core strength than Patrick Wilson. And this is the cutest thing too. In between takes, like he again, totally frothing at the mouth, channeling Beelzebub, fully committed. And then in between takes, he's like, "Hey, you want some almonds? Can I make you a smoothie?
Yeah.
You want to lay some beets down?"
Yeah. Yeah. Well, people need almonds, smoothies, and beets. I listen to a lot of metal, so I live on the dark side. Don't let this confuse you. I live on the dark side. It's just coming out in that film.
How many cases you guys had?
Cases.
My name is Ed Warren, here with my wife Lorraine.
Maybe 1,000.
Across 4 Conjuring films, we've
And an Annabelle Comes Home in there.
and an Annabelle. We have, I mean, this next one, man, I think we just squeeze every ounce of goo from these 2 lovebirds. And I think it's the heaviest one yet for old Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah. You know what I'll say? As we go through these movies and when you do these scares and some of the dark stuff that we deal with, it's only made the scenes with the 2 of us, it's made us as actors and as characters fall for each other even more so, because when you play with that darkness of these films, we always look for those scenes with Ed and Lorraine to show their joy, their love, their humor, their pathos, their empathy. So those are some of usually our favorite scenes of movies, because it's just fun to act.
But I mean, it's been decades of like love and loss and levitating furniture, and I think that we bring it this last one. What he means is it's hopelessly romantic and beautifully terrifying. It's heavy. This last one's heavy.
Obviously, you don't need to, maybe not obviously, but you certainly don't need to have seen any of the other films to enjoy this. I think you'll understand from the get-go our relationship. Where we find them, certainly, we said it several films ago that every time Lorraine has one of her visions, what that costs her, right? Both physically, mentally, spiritually, all that kind of stuff. And then we saw in the third one where Ed's health really took a downward spiral. So we find them in a tough place. Ed wants to continue physically. Can he? He wants to pull them back in. We're at a place in our life where it's time to say goodbye. And yet then this event happens that involves other members of our family that of course makes us jump back into the fray. Spoiler alert. So we find them at a very precarious position because they still have the love and the will.
And the trust, but their love does get tested.
Yeah.
And the demons get salty.
Salty
Salty
Demons.
dog.
Which I think is your nickname. The Salty Demon.
When did this start?
Heather's confirmation.
7th of September.
There's something in the attic.
Ed, there's an evil here. Last day on set was completely anticlimactic because somehow they wrapped him earlier. I was stuck on set by myself, kind of screaming Ed.
Well, those
into the
last few
abyss.
days were rough. Very seldom does it
got
end up.
very bloody.
Did you?
Yes.
Very seldom, when you say this on films, do you end up doing like the climax of a movie right at the end of the film. Like, it rarely ends up doing the end of the shoot and the end of the shoot and the end of the movie at the same time, which, if you know any movie ever, is usually the most stressful time of the film. So this was really it was a very exhausting last few days. I think it was impossible to grasp that this is the end for me personally, because I just can't.
Because you were the first one to leave. You left me there.
I was gonna be so
abandoned for
nice.
3
I was gonna
days.
say something so sweet, and now it's just
So-
gone.
Yeah. Okay.
Jesus.
What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, because I can't imagine not working with you, so I'm not going to say goodbye. But no, give your answer.
We'll get another franchise. Don't you worry, baby. I stole my rosary. Gotta admit to that.
You did?
I did.
You should have.
I did.
Every case is different. Every family's different.
Yeah, and you'll remember it too.
Yeah,
This one goes down in like
Absolute shit
Conjuring
show.
posterity. Absolute shit show.
It's crazy town.
I mean, I like thought I had a mini stroke after that.
Really?
You know that
I go on like 5-mile jogs every day. I couldn't jog anymore. My feet were flip-flopping, and my running partner is like, "What is going on with your gait?"
You have a running partner?
Yes, my cousin. But she's like I couldn't run, and
Was
my
it the
feet were
flip-flops?
flip-flop. No, it was
You
I
weren't
had
wearing
cut off
flip-flops.
circulation to my legs after what we had shot.
It was really stressful.
It was, yeah.
It was awful.
I'm
No,
done. I'm done with this show. I'm done.
It was exhausting.
I've been waiting so patiently for you.
I love that log line. I'm sorry. I'm going to stick to that log line,
Do that.
which is love conquers all. Love and compassion and
Yeah.
mercy and trust.
Yeah.
And just the willingness to love a stranger. And like put yourself in harm's way to save somebody's aching soul.
Sure.
Like that is beautiful.
Sure.
That's a noble thing to be a part of, and that's meant a lot to me, you know, in this present darkness.
Yeah.
To just that parboil it down to that beautiful message is really meaningful for
And
me.
I think that's what the legacy will be. I do. I think at the end of the day, the scares and all that stuff is all great, and they'll continue to mine horror movies for great scares and great jump scares and all of that and freaky images. But really, I think the love of our Ed and Lorraine and that sense of family and trust, I think will endure. Where does it go from here? No idea.
No idea. I mean, we're done. We're done. Aw, we're done. That's it.